Assalamu alaikum everyone, my name's Farah Halabi and I'm a professional Muslim life coach, and today I'd like to ask you a question. Do you get cheesed off when people don't take your advice? Do you get upset? Do you get frustrated? Do you wonder why you even bother when you offer others, usually like friends, family, people that you're close to, they're asking you or they're telling you about a problem, they're telling you about what's going on in their lives, they're telling you about their experience, they're having a bit of a moan, a bit of a rant, going off on one to you, and whilst they're speaking, your mind is 10 steps ahead, already thinking about solutions, ways you can fix this, what they need to do, advice, maybe thinking about, well, how'd you get yourself into that tizzy? Bit judgment, perhaps. But when the other person is speaking to you and they're telling you about what's going on, and generally it's something that's not going the way that they'd like, or they're having a bit of a moan. Usually people don't moan about good things or things that they're happy with. It's usually the opposite. So if someone you're close to who confides in you, who speaks to you about what's going on in their life, do you get upset or frustrated or even angry when they don't take your advice, when they don't put into action or listen to what you're saying, or they disagree with the advice that you're giving? How does that make you feel? How does that make you feel when you are being told something and your go-to response is, well, need to fix it. I need to make this right. I need to help you. I need to make things better. I need you to do X, Y, Z, and then you'll be fine. And then I'll feel as if this wasn't a waste of my time. I'll feel that you appreciate me. I'll feel that you value my opinion, and I'll feel that, you know, I'm a good friend or a good sister or a good family member or a good confidant or a good person. But if you don't do those things, then what am I even here for? What are you wasting my time for? What are you moaning about if you're not going to do anything about it? And if not that you're just not going to do anything about it, you're not going to take my advice, which has taken me time and thought and consideration and efforts and energy to put forward a solution, a fix, advice, a pathway, support, help, guidance, all of that stuff. If you're not going to take that from me, then what is the point of me being here? Have you ever been in one of those situations? Have you ever thought that? Have you ever got into a real emotional drama in your mind and created a whole story about the other person? Because now it goes from what they were telling you about to something a bit different, to what they now think of you or how they see you. So their issues, circumstances, topic of moaning, topic of ranting, topic of discussion has been popped to the wayside, and now it's all about me.com. It's all about how you feel and all about how you stand in this other person's life. Has that ever happened to you? Well, it's happened to quite a few people I know, actually, but when I've been speaking with my clients, they don't realise that that's what's actually happened. They tell me stuff all day long about how things are, how they feel, and subhanAllah, we go through a real framework of getting them from where they are, well, first of all, understanding how they got there in the first place, and getting them from where they are to where they want to be in a way that really speaks to them. It's very bespoke because it's all based on the way that they think and feel and behave and believe, and all of the thoughts they have about themselves, about the world, their perspective, And subhanAllah, it really is blessed work. But for some of us, I'd actually say all of us, we do have the tendency to get into our own heads about things sometimes. And it's when we do that that we disconnect from what's actually going on, and we go into this alternate reality, this bit like, you know, those, I can't think of the name of it now, but the virtual reality headsets. So, you know, you're standing there and you've got this headset on and I can see you and, you know, you look as if you're fine. But in your world, in your mind, from your perspective, what you can see in that headset, completely different. And that virtual reality is so far removed from actual reality, like the day-to-day living, the nuts and bolts of this world, the people in it, how you present in it. But when we do that as people, as human beings, we do create stories. We do create this experience for ourselves, and we're doing that alongside being in the real world. So whilst that person is off on one, ranting, raving, moaning, talking, we're in 10 steps ahead mode in a not real reality, in a not real place, because it hasn't happened yet and it's possibly not even going to happen. But in that, it's almost like we've got that mask on, that headset on, and we're now trying to figure out the steps that this person should take. So whilst they're still talking, we're already getting to, you know, fix it, support, advice, what to do mode. And when they don't take that advice, then we're going to get a bit upset, because the gap between that virtual reality, well, let's just call it expectations of what you think they should be doing, how they, you know, what they could be doing, what they should be doing, the expectation of the taking of advice that you are about to impart. So that's an expectation that they should just do X, Y, Z. But then you've got the reality of what they are doing right now. And that bit in the middle can be frustration, upset, maybe even anger, possible resentment. It's like, well, I'm using all my energy here to try and find a solution for you, and you've just dismissed it. Because they didn't come to you for the answers. If they said, right, I would like your advice for a problem that I have, and I really value, or I'd like to know what you think I should do, or they'll put it quite clearly to you. But if they have come to you and they're having a moan about their kids or their husband or their boss or their employees or in their business or in their world, they haven't actually invited you into a conversation that sets the parameters that they need your help, or they need your opinion, they need your advice. They're just venting. They're just letting off steam. And what are you really getting upset about then? If you can see that as just a space for them to vent, a space for them to speak, a space for them to just release whatever it is that's going on, then is there a judgment on that? Do you have an expectation on that? If they're just, you know, releasing all that stuff from their minds, like they're just verbally getting it all out, do you have an expectations on that? It's only when you place the expectation that they need something from you, or they're asking you something, or they're asking something of you, or they're expecting that you have the answers, or you assume that they're asking you for answers. There's a lot of assumptions, there's a lot of guesswork involved. But when we go to what we think, what we believe, what we assume to be the case, what we assume they want from us, then you are going to go 10 steps ahead and try and be the fixer, the problem solver, the one that is going to make everyone all right. You know, the one that's going to save this person from this horrible situation that they're, you know, that they've taken the time out of their day to moan to you about, to divulge to you, to share with you. And if that is all met with nothing, no action on their part, or even, I didn't actually want your help. They might even say that, or I don't, you know, I'm not actually interested in what you would do. Just wanted to, you know, let things out. That is the difference between, it's what, you know, you might be offering what could be called unsolicited advice. They didn't ask for it. But you've gotten yourself into a right old tizzy because they're just not listening to you. Now think about this from in another arena. Let's just say you're, I don't know, your kids are talking to you and they're, you know, they're telling you stuff. They are moaning or they are sharing something with you. If you're going into fix it mode and you're thinking 10 steps ahead and you're trying to make it all right, which, you know, as parents we do, as mums we do, we want to make things all right for our kids. But in that moment, is that what they need from us? If your husband starts talking, or if, you know, a friend starts talking, or your parents, or let's just say at work, or a colleague is going, you know, is saying stuff to you. If you have that expectation on yourself, or that opinion, or that belief, sorry, about yourself, that you have to be the one that makes things all right, that you are the one that goes in there and fixes everyone's problems and saves everyone from themselves, and, you know, you're going to be the one that just solves and resolves everything, then that's almost like the hijab that you're going to put on. That's the hat that you've got on. That's the, okay, I know my role in this. This is what I've got to do. But if the other person just wants an ear, just wants a space, just wants a conversation that's light-hearted, that's not, you know, not the solutions to their life, but just a space to just speak, then again, would you get upset about that? Would you get upset if someone just wanted to tell you about their day? Or would you get into a whole load of different emotions if you have the expectation of yourself that you need to fix, resolve, or make everything all right, or everything better, or everything good, whatever that means? Do you do that? And if you do, why do you think that is? Is it to do with the other person? Is it because the other person, you know, is it their fault? Is it because of them? Or do you think there's something about you? Do you perceive yourself as the one that has to make things right? Do you take that responsibility on for yourself? Do you feel that you're the one that has to, or the only one that can in some circumstances? Do you believe that you're the one that has to, or that you're the only one that can put things right, make things tick along nicely, solve things, just have the answer? Are you the go-to person? And again, why do you think that is? And again, I've asked you lots and lots of questions, and I would ask you to reflect upon them. What comes up for you? Why do you find that you do that? And if you do, why do you think that is? And what beliefs do you hold about yourself? Who do you see yourself? How would you define yourself in terms of someone who gets really upset when people don't take their advice or do what you've asked them to do? Why do you think you do get upset? I'd love to know, because for a lot of people that I work with, the issues that they come to me with are usually centered around circumstances or people, like issues in certain circumstances, or struggles in certain relationships. And when we look at what is actually going on, there is this massive gap between how they think things should be, how they think a person should be, how they think a circumstance should be, as opposed to how it actually is. And that gap, like I said, between expectation and reality is a whole a whole spectrum of emotion, a whole spectrum of assumptions, beliefs, thoughts, questions, and very few, if at all, answers. And when we look at how they think about themselves, there is something within them that is either an expectation that they have for themselves, or an erroneous self-belief that if they can just do XYZ, if they can just be whoever it is that they think they need to be, then they will feel something. They're either looking for a feeling or trying to avoid one. And I'm going off on topic a little bit here, but coming back to, if you feel that people don't take what you have to say seriously, or they don't value your opinion, or they don't listen to you, or that they just don't do what you think they should do, what you say that they should do, and you get really upset with that, ask yourself, did they ask for that advice? Did they want that from you? Or was it a case that it was an expectation that you have of yourself, that you have to go out there and fix everything for everyone? And where does that come from? I'd love to know. Again, more questions to ponder and reflect on. But if you'd like some help to really understand what is going on with you, why that might be the case, and how to manage that, how to manage your emotions, how to manage your mind in a way that you're not getting upset, you're not getting hurt, and that you can see the other person, what they're going through, for what it is, not the assumptions of what you have in your mind about what it is. If you'd like some help aligning that, expectation and reality, or the virtual reality and the day-to-day living, so that there is less of a gap for you to, fill in, and it's more based on truth, on what actually is, on certainty, or as certain as you can be, then let me know. You know how to get in touch with me. The ways in which you can are in the comments. But as always, I pray that you are safe, well, happy and healthy. And inshallah, I shall be on tomorrow for another little convo. But for now, take care. Assalamu alaikum.